Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a holiday edition of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly episode where we talk about movies, TV, music, and video games, not necessarily in that order. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Thank you for joining us again this week. This is the Media Vote Podcast. It's everything he said it was. Today is December the 17th, 2024. We are quickly wrapping up the year and December. We have two more shows for you, two more proper shows, plus some bonus stuff that we'll talk about at the end of the podcast today. But in the meantime, this is episode 466, actually. I believe 65 was last week. I tried editing it. It didn't work. There we go. 466 this week. And yeah, we have got kind of a shorter show today. Not a whole lot coming out. Not a whole lot of big news for you. We will talk about the Game Awards today, though. So that is coming. But besides that, kind of slow goings in the holiday time.
Yeah, but before we get to the Game Awards, we gotta get to the music section. Start the music
Yes.
section with the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land are a bunch of cold ass songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you think it is because it's the holiday season. At number one is All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Coming in at two, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. At three is Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms. Coming in at four, Last Christmas by Wham. And rounding out your top five, Holly Jolly Christmas by Burl Ives.
Yep, no more Kendrick Lamar. He got kicked out. It's just Christmas all the time now.
Yep, proper holiday season. As for your Billboard 200, your albums chart, coming in at number one, again, The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. Coming in at two, GNX by Kendrick Lamar. At three, Rosie by Rose, all caps. At four is Strategy, 14th mini album, EP by Twice, all caps again. And rounding out your top five is Short and Sweet by the Netflix special herself, Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah,
This does mean that Linkin Park got kicked out of the top five.
I mean, yeah. It wasn't gonna last. The Taylor fans still bought so many vinyl records that she's still at number one, which will likely mean that by the end of the year, Taylor might still have the rights to the number one record. That remains to be seen. We have a couple more weeks, but it does seem like this is a pattern that's leading to that. Tortured Poets is probably going to be your best-selling record of the year.
Uh, Listened to, come on, selling. We know it's really getting on those on that
Yes.
billboard.
But Taylor is one of the few artists that still actually sells really well physically as well. So,
Yes, the vinyls do sell really well at
yeah,
Target.
at Target.
If you don't like any of those albums and you want any new releases,
Well, too bad.
sorry, too bad. Go listen to
Because
some Christmas music.
there's no new releases.
There's no releases.
Well, I say that with an asterisk because our news story is actually about a new release that comes out on Friday.
Yes, it's by artist known as SZA,
Well, it's not
who
exactly a new
announced,
release.
yeah, SZA announced on social media that her long delayed, sorry, their long delayed album, Lana, a deluxe edition of her Grammy winning second full length, SOS, will be released on Friday. The post featured actor Ben Stiller
Yes.
singing along passionately with what is presumably the new single, Drive, while driving on a rainy night. So, yeah,
Yeah,
new album from SZA.
this is good news. It's not a full new album, as it says. This is technically a deluxe version of SOS, but the Lana name has been kicking around for a few months here, suggesting that SZA has done a lot, like, or at least enough new tracks here, in addition, to warrant a full deluxe release. The Ben Stiller thing is actually a fun story. I guess they connected over Twitter when she tweeted about Severance and how into Severance that she was. She came to it late, I guess. And Ben Stiller got aware of this tweet. And I guess this is how they connected, and that's how he shows up here. So there you go. SZA, big Ben Stiller fan.
Which is funny because Ben Stiller is only producing and
Right.
directing Severance, not actually
Yeah.
starring in
He's
it.
not in it, but he's responsible for it, and SZA knew that. So
Yes. All right. Well, hey, that's a nice
it
crossover with TV,
is. But
especially
we're not
since
going
Severance
to
is going
TV
to come back on Apple TV
in
in
January.
January,
Yep.
February.
January?
Yeah, I thought it was January.
I don't know. January.
One of those.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. All right. Did you listen to anything?
No.
I did,
Okay.
but it wasn't anything new. It
Oh,
just helped me narrow down my lists.
well, fair enough.
All right. Then let's get, if there's nothing new to talk about, let's go into video games where we have new releases. And there was one release this week that you do not have listed here.
No, I don't. What is it?
It is Astrobot DLC.
DLT is not doesn't count on this list.
It does when it's a Christmas edition.
Yes.
I played it, I streamed it. It's fun. It's cute. It's
I
nice. It's a nice little package just to be like end of the year celebration.
I think I'm gonna keep it for Christmas Day. I think it would be a cute thing to do with Christy on Christmas Day. So I'm
It's
gonna
pretty
hold it
fun.
until then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, let's get into the video game news. And well, as you mentioned at the top of the
Mhm.
cast, the Game Awards happened. And if you watched it, you may or may not have been surprised by what won Game of the Year.
Oh.
Uh, the previously just mentioned free DLC,
Mhm.
Astrobot. Team Asobi won Game of the Year with the little Astrobot that could.
Yeah, this was a bit of a surprise, considering that up until that point, Astrobot had won a couple of awards, but didn't seem to be a front runner in any kind of way. Um, but it is interesting that, yeah, it beat Balatro, which I thought was going to easily win, considering who is in the voting pool for the TGAs. But obviously, I'm happy for Astrobot. It's a well-deserved win. It's a big deal considering it's a very small team. Um, and it was kind of a neat moment to have. It also won Best Game Direction. So those two usually follow suit with each other, and they did again this year.
Yeah, it's fun because the little Astrobot went up against the heavy hitters of, well, Balatro's an indie game,
Yeah,
but rather Black Myth, Wukong
yeah,
Black Myth, and then Final Fantasy VII
yeah,
Rebirth.
yeah,
Two AAA games being released against the little boy that could, little bot that could.
yeah, yeah. It's cute and well deserved. I think that it makes sense to me. Stay tuned
I
for
mean,
our Game of the Year discussions
yes,
coming
just because it
soon.
won Game of the Year here does not mean it's going to win Media Boat Game of the Year.
Mm, we'll see.
I mean, you can tilt your head all you want, but we know that's really going to be Tetris Forever.
It's let's put it this way. I finalized my top five. Tetris Forever is not my number one.
I don't know who you are anymore. All right.
Anyway.
Anyways, in addition to Astrobot winning Game of the Year, is also a time to celebrate upcoming games.
Mhm.
And as such, we had a plethora of new trailers announced.
Yes.
No new consoles announced.
No, everybody who was thinking that the Switch 2 was coming and this thing was wrong. Like we've known that that is not how this is going to go. Wait until March. But yes, there were a lot of new games announced though.
Yep. So let's I'm glad you have it all written down here. So let's
Yeah,
run at the top
it's very easy.
with the next Naughty Dog game.
Yeah.
And it's a new IP called Intergalactic The Heretic Project. This is being directed by Neil Dr. Ruckman.
Yes, Mr. Dr. Dr. Uckman himself. So what do you think about this trailer? I thought it was kind of neat looking. I liked the vibe of it. I liked all the kind of winks and nods to like anime and like all the real brands featured. Like the
Mhm.
protagonist is wearing Adidas shoes. It's a Porsche spaceship. There's Sony branding everywhere.
Well, it's obvious for Sony branding. That's
Oh yeah.
nothing new here.
But yeah, and it seems like it's not a shooter. It's like a melee combat game. It looks like
I was
sword
surprised
combat.
when the sword came out. I was like,
Yeah.
melee combat?
So I thought it was really, really cool. But my one hang up is Why does this have to be Neil Druckmann? Um, Last of Us, not my favorite series. I really like that first game. Part two was a real bore for me. I couldn't even get past the first few hours. I don't love the guy. I don't love some of his opinions. Do some research. But yeah, so it's like I'm really torn about this. I want to love it, but with this guy out here saying, "Oh yeah, the story is going to be about like religion." I'm like, oh, I don't know if you of all people want to go there right now, my dude. So I'm really torn. I think it's cool vibe. I love the look of it, but like, I have no faith in Neil Druckmann anymore.
I have faith in Naughty Dog, the studio, in that this will look really ridiculously good.
Yeah.
That it will play really ridiculously smoothly. That everything about Naughty Dog and their IPs will be smooth. But like you said, because Neil Druckmann is the director, will the story hold up?
Yeah.
It's bounty hunter in space, but also from the little blurbs I've been getting, it may be confined to just a single planet.
Yeah, but it could be pretty big. Also, we don't know if this is an open world game. You have to keep in mind, this is the company that brought us Uncharted. So we do have to, like, maybe I would actually love to see an Uncharted style kind of linear approach here. I don't think every game needs to be open world. I know, blasphemous in the a year of our Lord 2024 for me to say so, but not every game has to be that big of scale. I think there's ways to do it.
Well, you're right. If it's not going to be open world, you might as well make it be a battle royale.
God, I hope that's not what this is. No, it's probably single player. Naughty Dog
It
knows
will
what
be
they
single player
do.
because it's Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
But what I mentioned is going to actually occur for the next game we're talk about,
Yeah.
Elden Ring Night Rain. While it is announced as a standalone co-op game for 2025, some more news has come out about it. And it doesn't sound that particularly appealing
To you.
because, well, no, because it's a battle royale game.
Well, it's not really a battle royale game.
It is.
No, it is a three player experience. It's built for three players. It's
I'm sorry,
yeah.
they literally drop you into the middle of the combat.
I don't know where you heard this, but that is
That's what the
not
Raven is. The Raven drops you in the middle of the combat.
I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, what they
And
showed at
the arena shrinks a la Fortnite to a single point where one person gets to fight the final boss.
what they showed at the show is what we should be talking about here. And it exists in the Elden Ring world and it's co-op. That's pretty much all they said. So let's leave it there before we start talking about other things that are outside of what the trailer they showed was.
This is just from IGN's like
Okay.
hands-on playthrough with it.
Well, regardless, this is not something I'm going to play. So,
Oh no, I'm not going to play it either.
but I'm
I mean, I
sure
wasn't already not going to play it, but just the way it's been described as I read, I'm still not going to play it, even more so.
I'm sure a lot of people out there are very excited. So all power to you.
I mean, I'm at least excited that it is standalone and not an actual like DLC add-on. But
Yeah.
we'll
Uh,
see what occurs because that's releasing or scheduled to release for 2025. Announced was another big title game. No date attached to it, just announced that's coming soon in development. The next Witcher game.
Yes.
Toss your coin. The Witcher 4 is on its way.
Yeah. And as as everyone predicted, it no longer stars Geralt. It is Ciri, who is like the person who basically gets the Witcher torch handed to her at the end of Witcher 3, a game I've never
Mhm.
played, but someone has said that. So yeah, already idiots online are mad that there's a lady in it. But what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Just look at the back side of the head while you play a third person game. Or is it first
Uh,
person game? I forget which one's Witcher is.
it's third. Witcher is the third person.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, other than that, big Witcher game. I think sure a lot of people are excited about this, especially after CD Projekt Red had kind of righted this ship on Cyberpunk. Like they're coming into this in a way better way than they were back when Cyberpunk originally launched. So I think people will be very excited about this once they get over their hatred of women.
I don't know. 2025 is happening.
Yeah, who
Did
knows?
you hear? The red shirts are coming. Uh, let's see here. Also announced was Fumito Ueda's next game
Yep.
called Project Robot. And it was
Yep.
announced in a teaser trailer. For those who are unaware, this is the same guy team people
Hmm.
behind Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Two
Yeah.
stellar, when you talk about games as an art form game.
Yeah. PlayStation classics right there. Both of them. Yeah, the trailer was brief but interesting. It looks like it has something to do with a giant mech. So if you're
It
into giant mechs,
looked
there
like a
you go.
Gundam game, but then I can't use Gundam. But yeah,
Yeah.
giant mechs, Gundam, uh, Armored Core-esque
Yeah.
vibes.
Maybe.
We'll see. We got more gameplay footage of Borderlands 4.
Yep.
Showed the new 4 Vault Hunters. Looks like a Borderlands game.
It looks like a Borderlands game.
Yeah.
Which is
Uh,
like after three, I'm like, that is either the best thing or the worst thing, and we won't know, just like three, until it comes out and we play it. It just seems like at this point, it's like a Borderlands game just lives and dies by the variety of its gameplay. And so you know what you're getting into. It's just a matter of whether that's what you want right now. And so yeah, I don't know, I'm skeptical. I am gonna wait, I think, to find out like when this thing comes out and if people like it or not.
yeah, because we both played Wonderlands, and I don't think either of us finished Wonderlands.
No, it was a different enough experience where it just didn't vibe with me. And so, yeah, this one's a big question mark. Although I am heartened by something that did that a little bit of the talk that's come after it, after this was shown about how they're working on the writing a little bit. They said today, I guess there was a quote that went around saying that it's not going to be as based in like toilet humor and memes as it used to be, the writing in this one. So I'm like, well, that's promising, hopefully.
Okay. We also had a sequel to another classic video game, Okami.
Yeah.
Now it's being developed by Hideki Kayama's new studio, Clovers.
Yeah, this is an interesting story considering kind of the roller coaster ride that Kamiya has been on. So made uh original Okami with Capcom with
Mhm.
his original studio Clover singular. Left Capcom to do his own stuff. That studio is since closed. Now he's back working with Capcom on the sequel to Okami with a new development studio called Clovers, plural.
Totally different name.
Yeah, completely different. Not the same. But yeah, it's neat. I played a little bit of Okami back when it came out, specifically the Wii version, because it had that cool, like you could use the Wiimote to do the calligraphy, which was neat. Um, I didn't finish it. It's a very, very long game. It was basically like a
Hmm.
Zelda game. So there's a lot in there. So if the sequel is anything like that, I'm sure a lot of people will really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, they did come out with Okami HD, which is more kind of a revamped version
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
that you can go out there and play.
You can play that.
Yeah. Uh, Also announced was Shadow Labyrinth, which was reportedly an action platformer with, is this Mr. or Miss? I need to
It's
know who I'm
it's
playing with.
it's the traditional Mister.
Okay. Mr. Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man.
Yes, and not Miss
This
Pac-Man.
Yeah, this is a weird looking trailer. It was basically it kind of looked Metroidvania-ish, where it's like side scrolling, kind of reminded me of Shadow Complex in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
Except, yeah, you have Pac-Man palling around with you the entire time, and he can be possessed by a demon and grow in large and eat people. It's a wild trailer that if you didn't see, I recommend checking it out. Yeah, who knows what this thing actually is?
It's kind of similar to Secret Level on Amazon.
I haven't watched any of that. Have you watched? I mean, we'll talk about it on TV possibly, but did you watch
Well,
that
no,
yet?
I just
Okay.
watched some recaps of it. That one
Hmm.
was a weird one. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
also we got the first trailer for Outer Worlds 2,
Yeah.
and Virtuous Fighter 6 was announced. Uh,
Just a T there.
Yeah, you did. This one's developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studios, which is from the Like a Dragon series.
Yeah, we had talked a little bit, I believe, last week about the possibility of a new Virtua Fighter game coming out, and sure
Yep.
enough, this was confirmed. And yeah, the Like a Dragon people are working on it. This is cool because the early Yakuza slash Like a Dragon games were brawlers, so they were already pros at fighting combat. So why not just give them a fighting game and a classic series? So yeah, a lot of people are very excited that Virtua Fighter is coming back in a proper way with a studio that they trust.
Yep. Fighting games. They're gonna fight.
Yeah. But they're
We also
not
have
done.
no,
They
not done.
also announced another game.
Also announced Project Century was announced also.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't
This
remember which one this was.
this is the one that was set in Japan in like the early 1900s. It's like it said like 1910, and it was like kind of a city landscape, and the guy was running around kind of like beating people up. So it's seems to be kind of in line of what they've done previously with the Like a Dragon games, Yakuza, and Judgment, their side series, where it does seem to be like there's a kind of open city and you're like doing things except like around town, but with some brawler elements. But it does also it's interesting though, as the name implies, it takes place in the early 1900s, so over a century ago. And so I think that's where the name comes from. So a little piece of Japanese history that maybe they haven't covered before in their games before.
Or that any other company that's currently doing a ancient Japanese role-playing game.
Yeah, it's an interesting period because it's not ancient, but it's also pre-war. So it's like an
Yeah.
interesting time in Japanese history that, yeah, you're right, games don't really cover.
We also have the next game from Hazelight, the people who did It Takes Two, with another split co-op game called
Yeah,
Split Fiction, where you rotate between a fantasy realm and a sci-fi realm with a bunch of puzzles thrown in between.
it's a neat
It looks
concept.
fun. Looks
Yeah,
fun. Looks
it
cute.
seemed like they kind of it just looks like they just had a bunch of meetings where they're like, what are all the fun co-op ideas we can come up with? And then they put them all in a game. I mean, people really liked It Takes Two. I didn't
It
really
did win
want to
Game of the
play.
Year.
Yeah, I didn't really want to play a game about divorce, so I skipped it. However, this game is not about divorce, so I might actually check this out. It seems like it might be a good time.
Yeah. And good thing about that is that only one copy for two players.
That's cool. Yeah.
We also have oh Onimusha: Way of the Sword, which was announced.
Yeah, a reboot of the Onimusha series that I believe got start way back on the PS2.
Hmm. Yeah, a bunch of stuff was announced, including Sonic Racing: Crossworlds,
Yep.
Mafia: The Old Country,
Yep.
and Turok: Origins. All
Yeah, I don't know
announced.
who was asking for a prequel to Turok, but here it is.
It's here. We also got official confirmation that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be coming to the PC on January 23rd, so get your mods ready. Also coming to the PC, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on April 3rd. Get your mods ready. Also announced Slade Spire 2
Yeah.
and Rematch, which was announced, which is a quick kind of soccer game, like
Yeah.
actual soccer, not like car soccer, by Slow Clap, the people who brought you Sifu.
Yeah, weird pivot genre-wise, but sure, we'll see what they do.
Yeah. We also had Thick as Thieves, which was announced from Warren Spector, and Stage Fright, which was announced as a co-op game from Ghost Town Games, the people who brought you Overcooked.
Yeah, Overcooked, another weird genre twist for a
Yeah,
studio. So yeah, that was the Game Awards overall. I had a decent time with them this year. I didn't think it was amazing like some people did. That's probably because the biggest announcements weren't necessarily in my wheelhouse. Like I'm like about Naughty
mm,
Dog right now, and I'm also about Okami, a game that I didn't actually have a whole lot of nostalgia for. So the two big hits that really resonated with people did not really resonate for me. That said, it was a solid show. I liked how Jeff Keighley actually did acknowledge the layoffs, and he did a special bit where he talked about someone who was raising money and helping people find jobs, which was kind of cool. Um, So overall, I think the vibe of the show is pretty good. Stop bringing old people on the stage, though. Like the Harrison Ford thing was really embarrassing, and just you don't need to embarrass these old people. Come on. But
Hey,
besides that, it's
every
fine.
year an old guy's got to come up there. Okay, we
Yeah,
had I mean
Al
Harrison
Pacino
Ford,
last
obviously.
year.
Yeah, exactly. Pacino.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's their annual tribute.
yeah, you don't need to do it. They don't need to do this anymore. So yeah, that was fine. I didn't think it was one of the best ones ever. But I guess congratulations for 10 years, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I did like all the announcements that they did have. I did enjoy that. I mean, I'm on the other side of the coin where it's like
Yeah,
all the people who grew up loving these games now have some actual creative say in what games
yeah,
they want to make. And
it's true.
here we are, like someone who really likes Turok now gets to make a Turok game. Someone who really likes
Sure.
Okami, or yeah, Okami, now is able in that spot to make an Okami sequel. Like it's happening. The wheels are
Yeah,
turning. 15
yeah.
years, 20 years now. Yeah, 20 years since Okami. It's happening. Like people grew up, they worked down the ladder, and now they get to call the shots, and they want to make games that they would want to play. And here we are, full circling it. So
Yeah,
happy
that's
about
true.
all these announcements. All right.
Fair enough.
Anything else in video games then?
Just want to briefly mention that if you're playing Pokemon card game Pocket, the expansion came out with the new booster pack. So I believe it's 80 something new cards total, 86.
Believe
Um,
so. I can tell you right now because I just had it open.
yeah. And yeah, so if you've been holding on to your hourglasses, use them today because there's brand new cards. I hear that Celebi EX is broken and is ridiculous in the game. So get that one first, is my recommendation.
Yes, pull all
Um,
10 and grab a Cell
get a Celebi.
BX.
But yeah, that's out today. So go check that out if you have it. Other than that, just playing more Infinity, Nikki. It's really had me by the chokehold. Like I can't stop playing that thing. I kind of pressed pause on the story this week though, and I've just been doing sketches. I've just been finding outfits, and that's been fun. I've been finding fun in like little corners, like everywhere. It's been great. But besides, oh yeah, and more Balatro. It finally happened. It's got me.
Yeah.
Something clicked over the weekend, over this past weekend, and now all of a sudden I can't stop playing it. So I got past the thing that I needed to get past, and now I 100% and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I understand what people are talking about. I'm there.
Yeah.
So it did finally
Yeah,
happen.
so Pokemon, it's called Mythical Island. There are
That's why.
68 new cards.
68,
Uh,
sorry, I had dyslexic there.
no, it's okay. Yeah. Celebex is the
Celebex.
new fun
Celebrex?
EX. Yeah. Wait, did I pull all the EX cards?
Uh-oh, did you?
I think I already pulled all four of them.
Well, I mean, you did hoard all your hourglasses for this.
Yeah, there's
So
Celebex here.
I'm calling it that.
I got the Marshadow,
Yeah. I think Kristen got that.
Slandit, and Executor. Yeah, I got all four. And
Wow,
then
good
it goes
job.
right to the trainer cards. Cool. I
Hmm.
don't need to pull anymore. Also, I got the 3-star Celebex, so I can hold it and then it'll like do
Yeah.
the fun into the card
Yeah.
uh graphic that's like the thing about Pokemon. So
Yeah, it's
or the
fun.
Pokemon Pocket. So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that game's still pretty cool. It's become kind of like a morning ritual now with Christy and I. We do our daily battles. It's been fun. So yeah, that Nikki and Balatro, those have kind of been the three things I've been cooking with lately. But yeah, like I said, I'll check out the Astrobot thing probably on Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
All right. Well then let's go into television where we start with the sports corner.
Hmm.
And a little bit of quick sports for you. Um, with bit in the NFL, more teams are clinching divisions. There are technically two games on Saturday this upcoming week. It's of course an anticipation for the Christmas games that are happening. We got Christmas games, and then we have Thursday games, and then we have Saturday games, and then we have Sunday games, all next week. All because everyone's gonna play on Sunday, and there's still no word on what those schedules for Sunday are and who's going to be flexed out to that Sunday night game. But spoilers, it's going to be the NFC West Championship game. as the Rams play the Seahawks for what's probably going to be the last spot in.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not officially announced, but that's the way things are trending for the next 2 weeks. Over in MLB, the Yankees, who had all this Juan Soto money to spend on,
Yeah.
decided to go get themselves one Cody Bellinger from the Cubs.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah, because he was already on the Dodgers and won a championship with them, went
Yeah.
to the Cubs, and I was on the Yankees to, you know, not help them also win a championship.
And you never know. It could be there's a lot of games to play in the upcoming season. Anything can happen.
Yes, but at least the Yankees are paying them well.
Yeah.
Um, if you want to watch it, the NBA Championship Cup is on today, or as of this recording. It is the Bucks versus the Thunder, and I hear you can go watch it in Vegas for as cheap as $68. Because I don't
No
know,
one really.
probably Giannis is going to win this thing, I assume, and the Bucks probably.
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. Over in hockey, real quickly, the Sabres, your lowly Buffalo Sabres, currently on a 10-game losing streak.
Oof.
So, woof. Technically, they're not last in the metropolitan area, sorry, the Atlantic. Technically, they're not last, but they're getting there. They're trying.
In there.
And lastly, it's bowl season for college football. But before we start playing all those bowl games this weekend, we are hand out who is the best player in college right now. And
Mhm.
spoilers, one, it already happened, but two, it's not a quarterback this time. It is two-way player superstar Travis Hunter of Colorado, and he's named the Heisman winner. Congratulations. Enjoy not being the number one overall pick, because that's probably gonna go to your player or a teammate, Shador Sanders.
Oh. Mm.
But yeah, otherwise, college football, the bowls are here.
Over
It's
here.
delicious, delicious bowl season,
Simply
including the bowl
irresistible.
brackets. Yep. All right. I went over the bowl games last week, so we have to do that again. All right. I think that's all we have for sports then.
Yeah, looks like it. So that means we can mosey on over to television. And for television this week, we're going to visit a familiar street. But unfortunately, it's come upon some hard times this week. Yes, unfortunately, the long-running children's series Sesame Street is looking for a new home. Warner Brothers Discovery opted this week to not renew the Sesame Output deal with HBO and Max. However, Max is staying in business with the show's producer, Sesame Workshop, by continuing to license episodes from the Sesame Library through 2027. Sesame Street has been on HBO since 2016, with the company's last striking a 5-year deal in 2019 that moved the show to HBO Max and Max. Max had pulled hundreds of older episodes 2 years ago as part of cost-saving measures at the company. It is not clear whether the library deal with Max would prohibit potential partners for new episodes from acquiring the library episodes if it, say, goes to a streaming rival like a Hulu, a Disney Plus, or even a Peacock.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things that could happen here. The one thing that's least likely is returning to PBS. But like, yeah, it's kind of anyone's game. But I'm sure there are a lot of streaming services and or networks that probably would love to have Sesame Street as part of their library, as this week has proven that a lot of people are pissed off about this decision, and it gave them another reason to be angry at our friend, Mr. Zaslav.
I mean, any reason is a good reason to be angry at Mr. Zaslav. I mean,
Yes.
it feels like he's our favorite punching bag this year.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers. May he already was our story of the year last
Last
year.
year. Yeah.
But yeah, this is separate from the Sesame Workshop, which
Yeah.
creates other shows out of the Sesame Street brand that are still a part of HBO and Max.
Mhm.
This is just strictly the Sesame Street episodics
Yeah.
that they put out. Those are for sale.
To me, I have the correct answer. I know where this should go, and I think it's a no-brainer. Apple TV Plus.
Yeah,
I think Apple has the money. They would take good care of it. They already have a wealth of great children's stuff. And I believe they're also the home to a couple of the Fraggle Rock stuff. So they have some hints and stuff already. So
and they're already child friendly with all the
yeah,
Snoopy stuff, and they've been
yeah,
pumping out
that's what
new
I'm saying.
Snoopy stuff as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They already have the ecosystem for it. It's a perfect fit for their vibe, for their programming. It's a slam dunk. Apple, call me.
Apple, you have the $1 trillion. You can put
Yeah,
down 1% for Sesame
yeah,
Street.
right. You've got money to do it. So that's what I'm hoping for. I think Apple would be a good fit for it. If not, maybe just a straight up cable network. Bring it back to
Although
television.
that'd be nice though. But like, if Apple does put all this money, do they have to update the name to Sesame Avenue, Sesame Boulevard?
Yeah, what they widened the street. The street gets
Yeah,
widened because of Avenue.
you can't see half the show because you got palm trees in the middle of each shot.
Median happens. Anyway, no, yeah, I think that obviously Sesame Street is an institution that I hope continues to exist. And yeah, I hope that they get a deal soon. As yeah, it's an important thing that a lot of kids learn a lot from.
I think Disney would be a very nice place to go, but Apple, I
Uh,
think you're right. The children, they have the children's section kind of carved out right there
yeah,
with the Snoopy stuff,
I would
with their
rather see
other,
it. Yeah,
yeah, with
I'd
their other
rather
kids
not
programming.
end up with Disney because I don't need Disney to own every single Muppet adjacent thing.
Right.
But
Uh, Otherwise, Netflix they did Pokemon for a
that's
long
true. They have
time.
made Pokemon deals. So
Yeah, but
we'll
that's
see.
more. That's not like that's more kid teen though, not
Yeah.
children.
But another thing about Apple TV is that they're pretty much one of the few, them and Peacock are one of the few of these streaming networks that haven't taken giant axes and excised their shit. Disney
Yeah.
has, Netflix has, and HB like Max has.
Hmm.
So I don't want them to end up at any of those places because I don't want the story to basically be over and over again the same story. Like I'd rather they get to be somewhere they can stay.
Great.
We'll see.
So we'll see. So that'd be interesting if they go to Peacock.
Yeah, I don't know who that like I don't know. That I feel like that would be a weird move just because of how much smaller Peacock feels.
Yeah, but then you could like actually put it on regular television, not just keep it streaming.
That could possibility.
Whereas Apple will be strictly streaming.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll be
Yeah.
tracking that story, I think. In the
All right.
meantime, did you watch anything this week besides Christmas specials? Because that's all we've been watching.
Oh, we've been watching a lot of Christmas specials too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Country Christmas this past week. Bublé was on last night.
We watched a Motown Christmas, which was on Peacock and
We
NBC.
watched A Night with Dua Lipa.
Oh yeah, I was gonna watch that, and then when I went to Paramount Plus, were making me wait until 8 o'clock to do it. I was at 5 and thinking like, oh, I can watch the East
Yeah,
Coast one.
Eastern.
It
Yeah.
wasn't up, so I didn't see it. But we might watch it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, Christmas specials. They're up, they're abound, they're
They're
everywhere.
there. They're happening. Besides that, though, nothing else.
Nope.
All right. Well, then that means we can move on to cancellations and renewals, where
What am
we
I
start
no longer watching?
You start on Freevee, where you're no longer watching Dinner with Parents, as it's been canceled after one season. I didn't even know it existed. Next up, some renewals. We have Sullivan's Crossing getting a third season on the CW.
That is a
Farmers.
Canadian show that already had its third
Oh,
season, but they renewed it. It's coming to CW.
got it. Meanwhile, on Fox, That Farmer Still Wants a Wife. It's
Farmer
being
wants a
renewed
wife.
for a third season of Farmer Wants a Wife. Um, Netflix is bringing back The Boyfriend for a second season. That it was that kind of like Terrace House, except about like I believe gay Japanese men.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Silo on Apple TV Plus will get a finale. It will be have its the fourth season will be its final season. So there
Hmm.
you go. No more Silo after that. And good news for us, a show that we enjoyed quite a lot, A Man on the Inside will get a second season on Netflix.
Yes.
Two thumbs up for me. Don't be surprised if that is a show that we talk about in our wrap up.
Ah, so you did end up watching it.
I did, and we finished it, and we loved it.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't talk about it
Well,
because
because
of
you were
how the show
gone.
works.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right. I was sick the week that I would have talked about it. But yes, we did watch it. We loved it to pieces.
Yes. I
Michael
was
Short
very
can do
tepid
no
on the
bad.
first couple episodes, but by the end, loved every second of it.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more
Yes, we
in the
will.
wrap up. But in the meantime, those are your cancellations, renewals. No deaths this week, at least none that you have
Nothing I
written
could
down here.
see.
So that means we move on to the final section of the show, which is movies. And we always start the movies with the weekend box office numbers. Your number one movie is still Moana 2 with another $26 million this week. That's at $337 million. However, it is still trailing overall to its number two competitor, Wicked, which made another $22 million this week. That is at 359. So Wicked's still doing better overall than Moana, which
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
With that 20 million, yeah,
Yeah.
Moana 2 is not going to catch it with the 20 million lead. Uh, that's just what happens. But Moana 2 overseas, international,
Right.
blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Pun intended. Number three, coming in at exactly where people said it was going to come in, which is dismal. Craven the Hunter only made $11 million in its debut weekend. Already you see scuttlebutt about will Sony make more of these Spider-Verse movies? Probably not, is what the word on the street seems to be, is that this might be the final nail in that coffin.
Oh, what does the internet know? Sony
We'll
gonna
see.
Sony and make more movies.
I don't know. Apparently, the internet knows all sorts of things, like that. Apparently, that Elden Ring game is a battle royale, which is something I didn't know until today. Anyway, number four, Gladiator 2, with another $7.8 million. That's at 145. And rounding out your top five, that Lord of the Rings thing, The War of Rohirrim, is still here, $4.6 million this week.
Yep. Unfortunate. Animated Lord of the Rings. Not for everyone.
No, apparently not. Coming this week, there was not a whole lot last week, but that's because they were waiting for this week. This is the pre-Christmas overload, where you have three very different movies coming out all at once for three different audiences. First up, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the third in the series. This is, of course, your older kid, I guess, family movie. This will make a lot of
This
money.
one has Shadow the Hedgehog.
This one has Shadow, and he has a gun. That's
Yeah.
how you
And it's
know.
voiced by Keanu Reeves, who's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, that's out this week. Also out this week, Mufasa: The Lion King. That's for your younger kids. I already see reviews coming in that say, "Wow, was unnecessary," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I thought it would be." So
Yep.
that's out this week. Then lastly, Baby Girl.
This is your high-powered CEO exec who falls in love with an intern and has a torrid affair.
Sure.
Or does she? Or does she not?
I don't
Oh,
know.
but she does. But should she? But she doesn't. But she does. This is Nicole Kidman, once again, having a torrid affair with a younger man.
Well, there
Didn't
you
we already
go.
have this movie? I feel like we did.
We maybe did. But yeah, so three different movies, three different audiences. Go see whatever you want. The Christmas releases we will talk about next week.
Yes.
All right, that does it for upcoming new releases. So we move on to movie news. And this week we have a collection of bits for you. First up, we go into the world of Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, to talk about Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. We finally have some news after some quiet about the project.
But it's not
Sort
really
of news.
good news.
Not really good news, no. Bob Perschetti, the Into the Spider-Verse director, and Justin K. Thompson, the Across the Spider-Verse production designer, have been officially set to helm Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
And so late into production. This
Mm-hmm.
movie was supposed to come out this year,
And yeah, not gonna make it.
and then it got delayed due to the writer's strike, or they claimed because of the writer's strike
Mhm.
last year. And here we are, just them announcing two new directors.
Yeah.
Does not bode well for where they're going to go with it.
I'm not super surprised when you consider all the stories that kind of came out along the release of Across the Spider-Verse about the crunch and how
Mhm.
the animators felt like it was just overload and how the creative leads were just kind of pushing them 24/7. It was just seemed to like not be a great experience to work on it. Makes me think that there had to be some retooling up top. And maybe that's what we're finally seeing here is that maybe enough of that pushback happened where they're like, okay, we got to rethink about how this project is going. So
Yeah, but this does mean that it pushes it to 2026, 2027
at
window now.
least, yeah. So it's going to be a while.
Wait, it's
I
animated. 2027,
Yeah,
2028 window.
yeah. That's the thing is that you kind of have to. I after that second movie was done, I was like, oh, it's going to be a while. So the third one, and sure enough, that's is going to be the case.
Yeah, that's gonna push it up against Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars then.
Yeah, don't have your hopes up too high to see this anytime soon.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, something you will see very soon, aka next year, will be Wicked Part 2. But hey, hold on. It's not going to be called Wicked Part 2. It has a name. It's going to be called Wicked, for Good. Of course, the for good comes from the biggest song in Act 2 of Wicked. So it makes sense that it is called that. But yeah, it is interesting that they're tacking on a subtitle to it. It doesn't seem super necessary to me.
Right, especially when the big title card in Wicked is
Yeah, said part
Wicked
one.
Part One.
Yeah. There's going to be a New Hope situation where they're going to retroactively come up with a subtitle for the first one.
Maybe, maybe
Wicked
not.
Beyond Gravity or Defying Gravity.
Wicked Defying Gravity.
Honestly, not terrible. Again,
Yeah.
call me. Check us in the mail, I'm sure.
But yeah,
Um,
well, there was a leaked photo a while back that from Cynthia Erivo that was that where it had the title page of Wicked Act Two for Good.
okay. So maybe that's how they're stylizing it.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
in the marketing they're going to call it Wicked for Good and drop the part two part
right. I
or
mean, sure.
drop the part two section of the name.
It's fine. It's a little awkward.
It is, but especially awkward if for everyone on the internet who hasn't seen the play and don't know that the For
Yeah,
Good is a song reference
right.
to the second act.
It's also funny because it makes it sound like they're like, all right, that's it. There are no more of these. This is Wicked for good. Done.
Yes.
So it's kind of a nice double meaning there. But anyway, so that's that. Next up, hey, Blu-ray. That's still a pretty strong format. At least I'd like to think so. But apparently, LG, one of the biggest manufacturers of the Blu-ray player, is going to stop making them. Panasonic remains one of the last places where you can get a modern Blu-ray player.
Or if you want to pony up for a Sony PlayStation
Yes,
with disc drive,
right.
that will still be your Blu-ray player.
I mean, yeah,
Because wait, does the Xbox have the
it does.
disc?
Yes.
Yes.
Both the
Xbox
Xbox
Series
Series
X.
X, and the PlayStation 5 with disc drive can play Blu-ray. They can also play 4K Blu-rays.
Yes.
So yes, there are other solutions out there. However, this does seem to be similar to video games, an overall push away from physical formats. Not great, as we talked about a lot on this show. But it does make sense as these corporations get more and more pushed behind digital distribution. There's less of an impetus for a lot of different electronics companies to all make Blu-ray players. So it does make some sense that some of them are just dropping out completely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we here at the Media Boat Podcast,
MediaBot.
Astrobot, MediaBot, a staple. We are
Yeah,
staunch supporters of physical media wherever you can get it.
yeah.
Because look at Max and all the cuts that
Yep.
they did.
So
Look at
yeah,
Disney
maybe.
and all the cuts that they did.
So if you care a lot, then maybe this is your sign. If you're waiting for a sign to get a standalone Blu-ray player, like a 4K Blu-ray player, maybe this is your sign to get one now. Like go ahead
This is it.
and purchase it. They're probably not that expensive, so go pick that up.
This holiday season,
Yes,
Blu-ray players under the tree.
there you go. All right. Then lastly, families rejoice because your kids will have yet another thing to watch repeatedly over and over and over again on Netflix. Bluey will be making
Hey,
its,
this is a Disney thing.
well, I mean, here it's distributed by Disney.
Yes.
But yeah, Bluey will be making a is full or her, I believe. Sorry,
Her. Yes.
her full screen, big screen debut in an animated movie that will be hitting theaters sometime in 2027.
And I've already pre-ordered tickets for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say your kid's gonna be the perfect age for that when that comes out.
Oh yeah. No, if this doesn't inspire a Bluey birthday party, I don't know what will.
Oh yeah, trust me. I have nieces and nephew, and yeah, they're already having Bluey Christmas or birthday parties. So yeah, it's
Wait,
happening.
Bluey birthday before? No, no, nope. Sorry, won't make it. We already know what they're gonna do for the birthday.
Oh
We already have
well.
the first five planned out, so Bluey's off the table.
Anyway, regardless, yes, Bluey movie makes perfect sense. It's a huge, huge, huge thing with kids right now. It's only going to get bigger as they make more of it. A movie makes perfect sense.
Yep, there's a bunch of new Bluey minisodes up on Disney Plus for here in the US.
Yep,
So it's perfect. Disney will indeed be distributing the Bluey film,
yep.
which is why I mentioned that. But yeah, they it's big, it's huge. It's going to compete with Frozen 2, probably 2027.
Yeah, probably. All right. That's it for movie bits, and that does it for the movie section. Did you watch any movies this week?
I watched Conclave again. If
Well,
that gives you any indication of how good that movie is.
well, I plan on watching it before we talk about before we do our wrap up conversations. So yeah, I sometime this week I will watch Conclave so I can discuss it with you. But in the
Yes.
meantime, no, that there's not really a whole lot going on in the movies right now. So
Nope. I did look around. I think I might try and catch up on a couple more movies,
okay.
like Heretic and Trap.
Oh, Trap, yeah.
There are a couple of some horror films in the middle of December.
I will say you could probably skip Trap.
I probably can skip Trap.
Having seen Trap, it's fine. You probably don't
Okay.
need to see it.
But I don't know, I'm trying to just basically artificially pump up our numbers at this point.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, other than that, that'll do it then for the Media Boat podcast this week. Like I said, a little quickie this week as we go into the holiday season. There'll be less to talk about, except for year-end wrap-ups, which we do every year.
The lists are here. The
Yes, the
lists
lists
have
are here.
made it.
Just a PSA about this year. If you are a longtime Media Boat listener, if those people exist, hey, let us know. We're doing a slight change in programming this year. We are not doing 4 different weeks of episodes, as you can tell, since it's already the 17th and we haven't put anything out. We are doing a controlled drop over the next couple of weekends instead. You'll also see a slight difference in our wrap-up episodes. We are not going to do a full recap of everything that happened in the news because we just don't have that kind of time anymore. Instead, we're going to be focusing mostly on the lists part, which is the fun part anyways. So there'll be shorter episodes this year, more precise, more to the point. We still will be picking a favorite news story of the year, our most impactful news story of the year. It's just that we won't be gathering all of it for you. So yeah, look forward to those. The next couple of Saturdays, I believe, is what we had decided. So yeah, those will
Yep.
be going up on YouTube as well as
Two
the
this upcoming weekend,
yeah.
and then two the following weekend.
So yeah, those will be going up on YouTube as well as the normal podcast feed. So it will be right where you always enjoy the Media Boat podcast. So look forward to those in the next coming up weekends. Hopefully that gives you some stuff to listen to while ignoring your family on Christmas.
Yes. Also, slight programming because next week is Christmas Eve. We'll
Mhm.
be doing a Monday
Yeah,
show.
a little early.
Probably dropping on Monday. If not,
Yeah,
we'll have something to unwrap on Christmas Eve.
exactly. It'll be there on Tuesday for your regular enjoyment if you want to wait. So there you
Yes.
go. And then yeah, the last thing is we may move the show's recording to Fridays coming up soon because of some programming in 2025. So just putting that out there for you guys to make your schedules ahead of time.
Yes.
Um,
New season, new
yes, new
schedule.
season, new schedule is oh God, is this isn't 10, is it?
We'll be entering 10.
Oh no. It's happened.
We hit the X mark.
We did it. We
X marks
did
the
it.
spot.
Oh no.
Yes.
2025 is technically the beginning of year 10 of the
Yes.
Media Boat podcast, which I never thought we would get to, but here we are.
Here we are.
Um, look forward to some new stuff in the new year. We were talking shop before the show started about what the future of the Media Boat empire might look like. We have some ideas, so we're cooking some stuff, trying to think of ways we can still do this in new creative ways while one of us has a child. So it's a new empire that we're yes, the child, in
The
fact.
child.
So yeah, it's going to be a new look for the Media Boat podcast in the new year, but hopefully it'll be stuff that you guys will enjoy, whoever you are. Again,
Yes.
email us, prove that you exist, because we're not sure if anybody listens to us.
Hey, we see the numbers. They do appear.
Someone keeps downloading it. I don't know. Who are you? Let us know. And also, let us know if we can fix our audio on iTunes. Please. Anyways, all right. That'll do it for the Media Boat Podcast this week. If you want to find our episodes, we are on YouTube. Search Media Boat Podcast to find our channel. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when new episodes go up. You can also find us on podcast catchers of your choice if you just want to hear us in audio form. Those include iHeartRadio, Spotify, and any podcast catcher that you use. Just type in Media Boat Podcast. You can also find us on the internet. We are on mediaboatpodcast.com. That's also where we'll host write-ups for our year-end list. So keep an eye out for those in the coming weekends. And then you can also find us on social media platforms like Blue Sky, just search Media Boat, and twitch.tv/MediaBoat, where you can find Mike playing things like that archive that he mentioned of him playing the Christmas level of Astrobot. Yeah, and then you can always email us to one, prove that you exist, and two, ask us questions. If you want feedback, anything about the show you want to talk about, that is mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. So with that, we leave you. Like we said, we will be back on Monday, the 23rd, for the next episode, as a pre-Christmas treat for you.
Yep. It'll probably be another short episode just like this.
Probably. And then yeah, in our first year-end wrap episode will go up probably this weekend. So right before that Monday episode. So look forward to that as well.
All right. We'll be back next week with more news, more thoughts, and more of us.
All right. See ya.
Okay, bye.